Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel. Feels really good to be back home. It feels good to get unplugged and go do other things and get away from social media. And even though I only like partly stayed away from social media, I uh, I find it hard. One of the things that I learned it's hard to get away when you talk to so many people. Um, Even you talk to the same people on different social medias. So I don't know why people do that because you can just talk to them the way phones usually work. But social media is can be dangerous. My nieces and nephews are locked on their phones all the time, and they're like 9 and I think 10 and 13. And I think that it's dangerous, and you should stay away from it because those dopamine shots will make you really depressed if you constantly. You're never going to be happy if you're always on social media for a number of reasons. You're always looking at the perfect life. You're always looking at fake pictures of people, and they're being always at their best or their best filter, their best shot. It's one of those things where it doesn't actually exist. People actually do have lots of problems, and people do have issues with their life, and every single person that has an Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitch account, it doesn't matter what it is. People have problems, and they all have their own issues. I have a new friend and a new subscriber to the channel, and they're going through like kind of a tough time. So this video is for you. One of the things that helps me with depression and anxiety and bipolarness and all that stuff racking around in your head, to find a calming space is very, very important. This studio, center of the universe for me. And finding altruism happens on camera, taking pictures of things that make you happy, having plants. If you need altruism love, get a plant. And I know it sounds stupid, and I know it sounds annoying to water a plant and take care of a plant, but you'll notice that sooner or later that plant needs you. Otherwise, it's going to die. And this is where altruism comes in. Picking up trash, doing things that don't actually matter you're not going to get anything out of it. That's altruistic love. People look for altruistic love in other people. They find somebody and they have a really good time with them, and they overpour their feelings and emotions for these people, and sometimes it gets thrown back in your face and they don't love you back the same way, or they end up hurting you. It's because you're looking for altruistic love in somebody else, and it just doesn't work like that. In order to find altruistic love, you have to love yourself first, and it's very hard for people to do that, especially this day and age when we're constantly plugged into things that show something better, or something that could be. Somebody's life is always better than yours. Somebody always makes more money than yours. Somebody's always going to have a cooler car than yours. Doesn't matter who it is. And you may think that they have a better life, or it appears seemingly that their life has some sort of more impact, or they're doing something more right. It's not. It's their mindset, and it's their attitude. Sometimes you have to understand that you can make mistakes, and you can't look back on your mistakes. You need to use those mistakes as tools to help you grow as a person and develop, and not weapons against who you are. Don't compare yourself to how you were like 10 years ago when you were your happiest that you ever were. Like, that's not ever going to make you happy. It's not going to bring altruistic love. Watering a plant and changing your routine, because a lot of the times that you don't find altruistic love is because you're constantly doing the same thing. Be like, oh, maybe my next girlfriend is going to help me. Maybe my next job, I'm going to make more money, and that's going to set me on the path for success. None of those things are going to give you what you are actually looking for. And that's one of the hardest things that people need to understand, because it's so easy to get caught up in the daily routine, in the daily grind, and taking care of everything that you think is actually important in your life. Once you take a step back, you know what's not. Once you lose everything, you realize what really is important to you. And it's altruistic love, 100%. If you go back to one of my videos, I can't remember if my memory serves me good. I think it was 6 days ago. I was listing the 6 kinds of love, and there's many kinds of love that you can find. I can go through all the different examples, but the altruistic, taking care of a garden, weeding, cleaning the weeds out of the garden, like that garden is going to grow better because you clean the weeds out. Yeah, did you get dirty? Yeah, it was. Is not going to do anything for you if you're not growing food? Why grow a garden? Well, because you see that growth and it starts making you happy. And it has to do with your daily routine. Like if you're getting up super, super late in the day, you're not going to feel like you accomplished anything, because by 5 o'clock comes around, everything's starting to close down and the day's gone. I mean, you got to get up early. You got to start hustling. You got to grind. You have to fight for your happiness. Happiness just doesn't come to you on a plate. And people that take pills and put the fake smile on their face every single day to, like, yeah, you can like cope, but like you're putting a band-aid on cancer. You're not going to get any better. You're not going to grow or develop. Yeah, you can take Prozac. You can take any kind of pill that'll make you feel like $100. But do you want to feel like $1,000,000? Do you want to feel like $1,000,000,000? Do you want to know that that smile that you put on your face is for real? Like, you want people to see that genuine person you want to shine? Because everyone has their shining moments. Everyone has their their glowing moments in life where they can aspire. Like, there's this one of my friends, he's one of my subs. He's going through some serious shit, even more than worse stuff than you're going through. He's dealing with legal battles and stuff, and he stays positive. Like, there's other ways around, and it's your attitude. It's how you see things and how you view things and how you want to visualize things can be better. You have to understand that the one thing in life that actually will always change is pretty much going to be ever changing. Nothing's going to ever stay the same. No matter how good something is, no matter how bad something is, it'll eventually change. And that's what life is. And some people don't understand that life's going to deal you one plate of shit after another plate. And you have to eventually grow past it, and you have to eat it, and you have to learn from it and grow and try to not to make some of those mistakes, because people think that you get caught up in your mistakes. You're like, why did I do this? Oh, I saw all these red flags. I could have avoided this 1,000 times. It's because you were blinded by something, and you had rose-colored glasses on, whatever it may be. But I want you to know people do check up on you. People do care about you. And you have to open up just as much. You have to open up your mind just as much. You have to open up your heart just as much. You have to open up your spirit just as much. And it's all three of them that's going to make you a happy person. So I'm telling you, start with like 5 or 10 minutes worth of exercise, getting up a little bit earlier, changing your routine. That's why I say get a plant. I know it sounds stupid, but after like 21 days or 30 days of watering that plant, you might start budding or flowering or doing something and be like, this plant's actually, I kind of like it. And it's something simple, and if you don't want to get a plant, then you should find something else that makes you happy. You should paint. You should write your feelings down, like, completely. And if somebody hurt you, you should get all those emotions out and look at them and think about them. But then after you do, burn it, throw it away, and move on, like, grow. Because if they're not in your life for a reason, if they were in your life only momentarily, they were supposed to either learn something from you or they were supposed to teach you something. But there's some people that are not supposed to be in your life forever. And that's one of the hardest lessons, I think, when it comes to love, to learn, is kind of let it go. And there'll always be a void for that person or those things that you always may want to be there. And you can, like, reminisce and think about them when you do. But just know, the more you think about the past, you're not allowing yourself to grow in the future. You need to understand things from the past, but you can't dwell on the past. You can't regret the past. You have to see all the things that have happened in the past as an inevitable thing that had happened for whatever reason, because a lot of the things we do and understand in life we have zero control over. And people that never are happy in life, they're control freaks. Doesn't matter what, you cannot control anything. You can't control how somebody thinks. You can't control how somebody feels. You can't control anyone's daily routine. All you can control is your own routine. You can control your own happiness very easily. But you start with happiness. Happiness is something that comes from a reaction, a cause and effect. Happiness comes from a good slice of pizza. Like it'll make you feel happy. Like you go for a jog, that'll make you feel happy because it releases endorphins and dopamine levels, and that's one of the things that makes you feel happy. But what people need to search for is joy, and joy happens with your attitude towards life. Joy happens, you find joy, it happens. It's a non-stop concept. It's constant. It goes non-stop. Happiness goes up and down throughout the day. Joy is constant. You find happiness while searching for joy. And it sounds difficult, but it starts with how you want to view the world. It's your own perception. If you feel that everything bad happens to you and nobody's sticking up for you and you got nobody by your side, then you've probably had nobody by your side, and you haven't had anyone stick up for you, and you haven't had any shoulder, to cry on, or, somebody to go have a pint with. Like a true, good heart-to-heart conversation is usually what people need. They should get them every day. They really should. But I got a bunch of footage with my Osmo, and since I wasn't going to use my hotspot, I know it didn't have internet, I'm going to play around with some of it now, and I'm going to upload it. But I wanted my Brosef to know that I love him. You got a family. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And take care and be well.